What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 71, and we start today's episode off with a game against Cska Moscow here in the Europa League, third game of the 6 in the group stage. And as the Russian side come to take us on here, well, we of course come on the back of the absolutely fantastic win against Chelsea, and the superb start to the season continues. We've won every single game but one this year, and we want to keep that going here. And as you can see, Cska Moscow in the Europa League group, they've won one and drawn one. We won both our games against Feyenoord and Zurich, so as the top two sides meet here at the Hawthorns, it looks as though this will probably be the two teams that will be getting through to the knockout stages. Don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, don't want to be too overly confident, but at the end of the day, we've made a fantastic start, and you really can't see us falling away right now. And as you would have seen by my team, I did pick a very strong side, because I do believe this is the strongest side other than us in the group. Of course, Cska Moscow, usually a side that qualify for the Champions League, now only in the Europa League, but as you'll see by their lineup, their squad is very good. Obviously, Musa, had things been different, he could be playing for us at West Brom if I decide to take them up on their counter offer of £2 million plus Brown a day last year, when I could have swapped out the injured striker. But Musa, Tosic, Mario Fernandes, Akinfeev, of course, very good players in their side, and they did have the first chance. Ben Foster making a very good save though and keeping it 0-0, but as Berahino finds Jordan Henderson here, a great chance for us to take the lead. Jordan Abita is through, but his shot is well saved by Akinfeev and turned away by Cska Moscow. So I had Akinfeev really as a defensive winger so he could cope with their threat down the right hand side, but instead he almost got the opening goal of the game. But in the 34th minute, Niang goes on a run here, keeps hold of the ball and gives it to Abita, who's getting forward at will, takes on Zoran Tosic, puts in a great cross, picks out Berahino, takes a touch with the fake shot and puts his shot into the side of the netting, and it goes out for a goal kick. So I thought I scored there as I riffled the net, but unfortunately it did hit the side netting and not the back of it. So still 0-0, and in the second half we came through again here. We really were looking adventurous. Wellington Silva puts the fullback on the floor with the Ronaldo chop, then the reverse step over, wonderful arch run, gets himself inside, and I put the shot wide. I did everything right but get the finish right in that run there, and it was still 0-0. In the 57th minute, Cska Moscow finally came through for a second time, but Zoran Tosic's shot went over the bar and out for a goal kick, so still scoreless. And the last chance would fall in the 85th minute to the Russians. Nesid on the ball finds Zoran Tosic through to his man who shoots, and again it's off target and out for a goal kick. And the game does finish as a stalemate, so for the first time this season we draw a blank and there are no goals in 90 minutes, so that's a shame. The first time we've been halted from scoring as well. We've in every game we've played this year we've got at least one goal. In this game we didn't get a single one, which was a real shame, but it's still a good point. Feyenoord and Zurich drew, so right now we are still top by 3 points and we are still the favourites to qualify as group winners. So halfway through the group with us on 8 points, Cska Moscow on 5, Zurich are on 2 I think, and Feyenoord are on 1. Yeah, I really do fancy our chance of qualifying for the knockout stages now. I really do, with 3 games remaining. Of course, we've still got Zurich to play at home, which, you know, no disrespect, I definitely fancy our chance of getting at least 3 points in that game. But still, we take on Southampton for the second of 3 games today, and Southampton under Koeman currently sitting in 8th place. Southampton are obviously a very strong side, but of course we are top of the table after 8 games, which no one really saw coming. Yes, there's still a long way to go, we know that, but even so, it's been a great start and we want to keep this going. So as you can see by my lineup, we did indeed revert back to the normal first 11 after Thursday night's game against Cska Moscow, but this game came only a day after the Thursday night game, which means that there were some tired legs out there, and I've mentioned it before, it's really frustrating how the game doesn't seem to recognise that in real life Europa League teams get to play on Sunday because they get an extra day's rest. So, you know, we had to take on Cska Moscow and then we come back with just one day on Friday to rest, and then we're playing a game. It's kind of tiring and physically demanding on the players, which is why I make so many changes. But how about this in the 14th minute? Niang plays an amazing through ball to Kevin Savanier, and we had the first chance of the game here. Savanier gets tackled. I thought we should have won a penalty, but we didn't. But as Malumbu keeps the chance alive, he crosses the ball in. James Tompkins doesn't deal with it. The former West Ham defender fails to get the ball away, and Jordan Henderson makes it 1-0 and gets his first goal of the season. So I thought I should have been given a penalty for the challenge on Savanier. Maybe it wasn't, but even so, I'm glad it wasn't given in the end, because we got the ball to Jordan Henderson's feet and he found the back of the net. So West Brom 1, Southampton 0, and in the 19th minute Southampton come through Morgan Schneiderlin, the French midfielder, having a good chance there, but his shot went wide of the post and out for a goal kick. And in the 43rd minute, we almost made it 2-0 here. Really good chance. Fraser Forster caught in no man's land, but a header from Niang went wide and out for a goal kick. So still 1-0. And in the 57th minute, Nathaniel Klein's on the ball. He rides the challenge of Savanier, and the right back finds Victor Wanyama. And just like in real life, Southampton have this passing style, this really frustrating style to play against on the game, where they are so accurate with their ball control. They rarely ever give it away. So many passes in this build-up. I had to actually cut it short. There were a lot more than this. But as Tadic is on the ball, he finds Graziano Pella, and Pella squeezes it into the bottom corner. So I just couldn't seem to get the ball off them. A wonderful ball into Tadic, and as Tadic found Pella, Graziano Pella was never going to miss. I tried to position Mauricio on the line, but he squeezed it right into the bottom corner. Had it been an inch to the left, it would have been blocked by Mauricio. Inch to the right, it would have hit the post, but instead, it just goes right in the bottom corner. So West Brom 1, Southampton 1, and the Saints are back on level terms just past the hour mark. And in the 90th minute, it was still 1-1. The game looked as though it was going to be a draw, so 2 draws in a row for us. But as Chris Brunt gets onto the ball, he goes to shoot, he gets taken down. Will Hughes crosses him into the centre, and as I'm hammering down circle, Brown Day leaves the ball, and I'm like, what the hell? Why aren't you shooting? Why aren't you shooting? That's a great chance to make it 2-1. But I realise it's because Schneiderlin took down Will Hughes as he put the ball into the centre and won us a penalty. So both of those players just came off the bench, Brunt and Hughes, and I could have had a penalty for the challenge on Brunt, didn't get one, but there was a definite challenge on Hughes which should have been a penalty, and it was. So chance for us from the spot. It's Brown a day against Fraser Forster. Can the Nigerian striker score? You bet your life he can. He sends Fraser Forster the wrong way and keeps up the fantastic record in the Barclays Premier League, where we won every single game but one, and it's another win under our belt here, because as a day sends Forster the wrong way here. Fraser Forster, the former Celtic goalkeeper, gets nowhere near the penalty as a day gets his 9th goal of the season. As you'll see, directly from kickoff, Michu gives it to Harrison Reed, Reed back to Tadic, Tadic back to Reed, referee blows the full time, and we win the game by 2-1. So with the last shot of the game, we win it through Brown a day, and yeah, I definitely feel as though we deserve to win that game, because although it was quite, subpar, there weren't too many chances for either side, I feel as though we just about deserved to edge it, because we did have some really good opportunities. And obviously, the fact of the matter is, as I've mentioned a few times, you have to be clinical in FIFA. You have to take your chances, and we did. So we win the game by 2-1, and the record continues. Absolutely fantastic start to the season. But as we take on Tottenham Hotspur here for the 3rd and final game here in late October, this was a game in the Capital One Cup as we travel to White Hart Lane. And as you'll see by my team, as you would have seen by my team, and you'll see it in just a moment as well, I picked a very weak lineup. I made 11 changes to the side that won on Saturday. And the reason being is quite simple. Well, Spurs made a couple of changes themselves, but still a very strong side. But the reason being is because I'm just not interested in the Capital One Cup. And I know that sounds stupid because we won it last year. It's a competition to win. It's a winnable competition for us, clearly, as we did it last year. It's a way to get into the Europa League next year, of course. But it's still nothing I'm really that fussed about, because at the end of the day, I've got bigger fish to fry. I want to qualify for the Champions League, far more important. Want to win the Europa League, far more important. Want to have a better run in the FA Cup for the first time, far more important. Retaining this trophy, although would be nice, is not at the forefront of our minds right now. So as we take on Tottenham Hotspur here, I was not surprised to see them have the first chance of the game, but Kim Sung-yu made a couple of really good saves here, and we managed to get the ball away. So still 0-0 as Spurs went through early on, but thankfully our Korean goalkeeper kept the score at 0-0 with a couple of very good saves there. And in the 38th minute, Yannick Vestergaard finds Patrick Roberts, and as Roberts stops the ball here, he teases his man before finding Carl Jenkinson. Jenkinson plays a quick 1-2 with Victor Anichebe, goes down the right side, drills in a cross, and if it wasn't for an absolutely fantastic save by Lloris, Berahino would have opened the scoring, but it was still 0-0 in the 57th minute, and Spurs, yes, they did have a weaker lineup themselves, but still stronger than ours by far, with 11 changes made to our side. As they came through again here in the 58th minute, it was Stambouli missing a really good chance, and in the 62nd minute, we showed how much confidence we had, because we weren't just playing to try and contain and go on a counter-attack and then hopefully nick a goal on the break. We were going forward at will, and as Anichebe hit the post there from a header, it was still scoreless. And in the 77th minute, as Eriksson plays the ball to David Silva, it's a great save by our goalkeeper. He denies him, but then throws the ball out really quickly, and individual errors sometimes will cost you games, and usually they're my fault, and that's exactly what happened here. I threw the ball out with Kim really quickly to try and start a counter-attack. Dembele leapt like like a salmon, headed the ball forward. David Silva was onside because our defenders hadn't pushed out on time, and the former City man had the simplest of finishes. And you know, Kim Sung-gyu was having a really good game, but there was no way he was going to save that one, and that made it Spurs 1, West Bromwich Albion 0. And in the 90th minute here, somehow Dos Santos is all alone, and again our South Korean goalkeeper hadn't given up the game as he makes another amazing save, and it was still 1-0. And in the 90th minute, with stoppage time coming into play here, as you can see, we kept the faith alive, and as Nastasic finds Billy Rao, he finds Anichebe into Danny Ings. Rao continues his run from deep, Ings picks him out, and a 16-year-old away at White Hart Lane with the game on the line to do something as cool as that. Look at the way he just feathers the ball into the bottom corner. There's no panic, there's no smash, there's no go down and try and trick the referee and giving you a penalty. He just finesses it into the bottom corner, as cool as you like, and sends the game into extra time. So the 16-year-old off the bench rescues me really for my poor mistake giving the ball away and giving Spurs their opening goal. He rescues us and makes it 1-1, but in the 92nd minute again we were playing a really high line, and just 2 minutes after the restart in extra time, Giovanni Dos Santos made it 2-1, and Spurs were back in front in this game. And unfortunately for us, it was my fault again. I was playing a really high line in this game, trying to press Spurs at all occasions, and unfortunately for us, Dos Santos broke through, and there was no way Yannick Vestergaard was going to catch up. So Spurs 2, West Brom 1, and the London side are back in the lead. Would we be able to come from behind again to equalise? Well, as Ings finds Anichebe directly from kickoff, if it wasn't for an amazing save by Lloris, it would have been level again. Absolutely superb stop by the French goalkeeper. Both goalkeepers are playing an amazing game here, but in the 110th minute here, as the game was coming to its close, we kept the chance alive. Billy Rao, who sent us into extra time, finds Danny Ings, and again Ings chips the ball inside, and this guy, seriously, I want to use him at every single opportunity. 16 years old, Billy Rao scores on a fantastic volley as he smashes it into the bottom corner. What a brilliant finish. He came off the bench, scores us 2 goals, he sent us into extra time, he now sends us into penalties at White Hart Lane. Absolutely incredible. It's a shame this guy's got so low stamina, which means I can't use him that often, because this guy, seriously, he scored a hat-trick against Shamrock Rovers on his debut. He's now scored 2 goals here in the Capital One Cup to send us to an unlikely penalty shootout. Just incredible, but still, it was Spurs 2, West Brom 2. That's how the game finished after 2 hours worth of football. So we go into penalties, and I could not believe that we had not only taken the game to extra time, but penalties as well. And I was just absolutely delighted with the performance. It was absolutely fantastic. So no matter what happened in the penalty shootout, even if we lost it, I'd still be very proud to take Spurs all the way with this weaker side. But David Silva, who got Spurs' first goal, would stand up for Spurs, and Kim Sung-gyu this time denies him from the spot. So advantage to us already with our goalkeeper making the save from the first penalty. And as Vitinho, the Brazilian, turns in our first one, we take the lead here at White Hart Lane on the shootout. Absolutely fantastic. It's then Lamela's chance to score from the spot against Kim Sung-gyu, but again Spurs failed to put the ball in the back of the net. Lamela sends the goalkeeper the wrong way but hits the top of the bar. Billy Rao then stands up to take our second penalty and scores it as well. So he scored 2 goals in normal and extra time, and he now makes it 2-0 from the spot. And as Eric Dyer stands up, well, this is the definition of a Dyer penalty. Get it? Really terrible. He chips the ball into the stands, absolutely embarrassing. And as Victor Anichebe rifles in our 3rd penalty, the game finishes on the shootout. Spurs 0, West Bromwich Albion 3. Spurs choked massively, the Cockerels choked, and we are through to the quarterfinals of the Capital One Cup. Absolutely incredible. It just goes to show you how confident we are right now, and everything is falling into place. But as always guys, a big thank you for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the episode, then please do leave a like, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.